Welcome back to the lab. Do you have a MacBook Pro 13-inch mid-2009 to 2012? The battery may not be holding its charge. It could be trying to bulge out through the bottom of the chassis or through the trackpad itself. Maybe you've taken it to a repairer. Maybe they said it couldn't be fixed. Maybe they tried to sell you a new MacBook. Well, guess what? You can change a battery yourself, and we're going to go through this step by step. This video covers the model A1278 and also makes the assumption that you haven't dropped your MacBook or it has no existing liquid damage. Otherwise, let's get started. To get started, you're going to need 4 things. The first item is a 000 Phillips screwdriver, and that will be used to crack the chassis. The next item is a tri-wing screwdriver, and that will be used to take the screws out of the battery. You will also need a spudger, and this will be used to lever out the battery connector. You could also use a plastic knife or some thin bit of plastic. And last but not least, you require the battery as well. And you can get these off eBay. Check that out in the description down below. And if you're clever enough to get the battery off eBay, sometimes you can get these tools for free as well. First step is flip your MacBook over so you can see the bottom. And we're going to have to remove 10 screws with our 000 Phillips screwdriver. 7 of those screws being short, which is this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and the remaining 3 screws being long, which is this one, and this one. Let's start removing the screws. Now all we have to do is remove the bottom plate. This is our battery and this is our main logic board. Try and keep your fiddly fingers out of this area here. This is our battery connector here. Let's disconnect it. To disconnect the plug, you'll need your plastic spudger. And only use something plastic. If you use a metal knife or a metal screwdriver, it will short out all these pins here and either do damage to your battery, or it'll wipe out the SMC chip or System Management Controller chip on your logic board and render your MacBook useless. So only use a spudger for this step. And all we have to do is put the spudger in like this. Give it a slight twist, a slight jimmy, and your plug will pop off, just like that. Next, we have to take out our battery retaining screws. These are the tri-wing screws. Our first one is here. We'll just unscrew him. If the little tab here is cracked or fractured, 2 things have happened. Either the screw was a little bit too tight, or the MacBook has actually been dropped at one stage. And the last screw is here. This one is the same as the last one, but it's a little bit longer. Then we get the battery by its little tab here and pull this up, and the battery should just pop straight out. Before you put in the new battery, check the trackpad here. Sometimes with the old battery, if it's a bit puffy on top, it will actually push this trackpad out. The best way to check is have a look at these little brackets here to see if they're deformed. If they are deformed, just undo this screw here and this screw here with your Phillips 000 screwdriver and bend these brackets back up. And do the same thing over here. Remove this screw here, bend the brackets up again, and then put the screws back in, and hopefully that will pull your trackpad back into position. We have our new battery here, and this is a battery we've purchased off eBay. Obviously it's non-genuine, and the rule of thumb is as long as you spend that 75 Australian dollars or $50 American, you will pick up a fairly decent quality battery. If you spend much less than this, you will get a cheap battery, and the battery is cheap because it's crap. One good sign of a good quality battery is it's still got the protective plastic over the top. And also have a look at the reputation of the eBay seller and have a look at the feedback, and that will give you a general idea whether the battery you're buying is something pretty good, or it's just going to be something that's going to be shit and it's not going to work whatsoever. Right, time to put in our new battery. We put our battery in its little hole here, slightly tilting it backwards, and then drop it into position. And then we put in our first tri-wing screw, this one being the short one. And then we put in our long tri-wing screw up the very end. We push our plug back into its little home. And everyone's favorite part, we rip off the plastic. Lovely. It's time now to put on the bottom plate. We'll put our long screws in first, here, here and here, and all the rest of the screws are short. We then flip our MacBook over, open it up, plug it in, make sure our light comes up. If it starts up, hold in the power button for 5 seconds to shut it down. Then we let it charge for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we unplug the charge cable and start the MacBook up. Before logging on, we need to check 2 things. Firstly, check to see that you have charge in your battery and that your battery isn't crossed out. Our charge cable is in, and you can see our little charge symbol has come up. So that tells us our battery is charging correctly. So what we do next is log on to your MacBook and we will check the charge cycle count. If you click the Apple symbol here and then select About This Mac and then click System Report, if we click Power and then have a look at the cycle count, you can see it's 2, and that tells us that this battery is brand new. At the end of the day, it's not as hard as the repairers make it out to be, and hopefully this has fixed your problem. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time in the lab.